floodwaters just overtake a road like that. This was recorded, a time-lapse recorded in Austin between May 23rd and the 25th, somewhere in there. So it looks, I thought it was like one day, but apparently it was over a longer time period here. But this is what can happen with flash flooding. You see a little bit, and then it starts to go over.
That is something else. I mean, It really is. I mean, the power of the water is unbelievable. I mean, unless you've been, hit by it or carried away by it, it's hard to appreciate and how dangerous flooding is.
And you don't really have an idea when you're driving around on the ground where flood basins are, and so it's hard to really tell that imagine really how much out of the bank streams can go when you have big flooding events, because this certainly has happened in the past. What really makes this event in Texas so unique is the extent of how many places are affected at once.
Right. I mean, that video is probably played over and over again in many towns and communities all across the Southern Plains in Oklahoma and Texas where they've been so wet. But if you look at our Sunday snapshot, things are changing. Right? This is really good news. They need a break in the Southern Plains and the Red River Valley of the South, and they're going to get it.
Drying out.
Yes.
Meanwhile, those storms, Dr. Posto, we know, moving into some other areas, the southeast and the northeast, some red. See the word severe there. Underneath that front, there's going to be some strong storms in parts of the northeast today.
Yeah, somebody gets relief and the other person, I guess, doesn't. So we're seeing more rain move into the southeast with storms, and you said severe also. There's also some good sort of, I would say, aspects of this map. Look at 66 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Refreshingly cool, very unusual for this time of year to be that chilly.
And it is somewhat of a refreshing sight to see dry conditions, at least in the air, not on the ground in Texas. Let's go back now to meteorologist Kate Parker, live in her hometown of Grapevine, Texas. Kate.
Yep, here in my hometown, here with Mike Richmond, a local resident and kind of a guru of sorts, right, for this local Oak Grove Park.
I am. I live right up the street here, and I'm a past president of the Grapevine Baseball Softball Association. And well, if we're be fortunate enough to play our soccer fields, they're underwater. Yeah,
so kind of taking a walk along the lake here. Beautiful sunrise, by the way. But this should not be lakefront property.
This should not. In fact, you can see the dock out there, that floating on the light pole. That's where the boat ramp is for this road. And then all these trees are underwater, and they provide shade for the soccer fields.
But not today.
But not today. No soccer today.
No soccer today. No soccer we're hearing for a pretty long time. It could be months for this water to recede. What does that mean for, Grapevine and the people that live in this area?
Well, I can tell you that this is a very busy park. And a lot of residents come down and visitors. They come in and they sit lakeside and barbecue and have picnics. And now we don't have parking for that to happen. So they're going to have to find other ways to handle it.
And you have Friday night fireworks, right?
We do, although I was just told that those have been canceled too because we don't have the parking for the visitors as well as the location to set them off.
Right. So that's going to be something that's like a little more of an economic impact. But, kids are just getting out of school. They have a lot of that energy. Parents want them to run it off, and you don't have the soccer fields. If you turn around here, I'll have Oren, our cameraman, go ahead and take a look at this. This is the parking lot, right, that you were just talking about. Back over there is an outbuilding. I understand that's even your lightning detection building, and you can't get that anymore.
It's actually restrooms, too. It's a portable building. It's restrooms, and there's a playground right behind it that is used by the kids all the time. And right behind the closed, see the flag's up and it says the fields are closed.
Yeah.
How appropriate.
How fast did this water come up here?
Oh, jeepers. I think we were told it was December was 15 feet low, and now we're over 15 feet high.
Yeah.
So, but the month of May has been crazy with the rain. We have 20-some days, 25 days out of 30. So.
Yeah, and so this has all been in the last week.
Yes, this week,
1 week.
This has just cruised right up, and it's not stopping. It's still rising, I believe.
Yeah, we've seen it rise just in the 24 hours or less that we've been here, Chris. I mean, incredible, and a lot of looky-loos coming down here this morning. We invited you, but a lot of looky-loos, Chris.
We do have a lot of people that are just driving by and looking.
Yeah.
All right, and what a sight to see. Kate Parker, thank you very much. They're reporting from her hometown. Let's go ahead right now and take a look at Chicago and see some cars moving around. You can kind of make out the city skyline here. Hard to tell exactly what we're looking at because this is what we're dealing with. The clouds and the rain. Temperatures on the cool side, 44 degrees right now in Chicago. And then we're going to see these temperatures eventually warm up in parts of the Midwest. This is a look at Detroit right now. Temperatures going today from the 50s to tomorrow in the upper 60s. And then finally into the 70s. Your average high this time of year in Detroit right at 75. This is why it is cooler. You have that air. You can see these moving lines here showing us the wind direction, where the air is coming from. So if you have northerly winds, it means it's coming from the north. And so you know it's colder in Canada, and that Canadian air is coming down, keeping things into the 40s right now. Chicago, again, you're in the 40s. Cooler, some 30s, parts of Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota in the 30s, some cold pockets. And with that this morning, freeze warnings, frost advisories, and freeze watches currently in effect because this could damage some sensitive plants that are still outside. And then today, highs into the 50s, 60s, even some lower 70s in parts of Nebraska. And then looking tomorrow, we're going to be seeing temperatures still into the 60s, these readings into the 60s. And then we're also going to be dealing with a little bit of a warm up for you as well in Chicago. Finally, it's going to take a couple days, but you're going to be back into the upper 60s and into the 70s, which is also closer to average for this time of year by the middle of the week. And the Atlantic hurricane season officially begins tomorrow, we know. Coming up, the Roll a Drone. In fact, this one right here, the role this one plays for hurricane hunters. Plus, a look at one of the 50 quarterfinalist cities hoping to be named America's best community.
This program brought to you by Children's Miracle Network. Put your money where the miracles are.
Just like all moms, I'm always concerned about my children's well-being. But sometimes they get sick, sometimes they get hurt. That's why I'm so grateful we have children's hospitals, because when any child needs a miracle, they'll do everything in their power to make one happen. With our support, please join me in giving sick and injured children every chance to get better. Put your money where the miracles are. Give to your Children's Miracle Network Hospital.
When you're not confident you have complete visibility into your business, it can quickly become the only thing you think about. That's where AT&T can help, with innovative solutions that connect machines and people to keep your Internet of Things in sync in real time, leaving you free to focus on what matters most.
Get the complete balanced nutrition of Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals.
And now, with twice as much vitamin D, which up to 90% of people don't get enough of.
Oh, the sunshine vitamin.
Ensure. Take life in.
Let's do this. Let's move outdoors for the next few months. Let's build a kitchen under the clouds. A dining room with no walls, no ceiling. Let's put it all together. Then, let's get together. A lot. Let's do this. Home Defense ready to use or 10 pounds Bug Be Gone granules, just $6.88. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
I'm home. Here's to all the reasons you suit up every day. Here's to being a dad. Happy Father's Day from Men's Warehouse.
Bridgestone's revolutionary drive car tires are engineered to take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles on a flat.
I feel unstoppable, like a superhero.
With a sidekick.
Yeah, you're my sidekick, right, bud?
No.
Okay.
Introducing the first ever gummy multivitamin from Centrum. A complete and tasty new way to support your energy, immunity, and metabolism like never before. Centrum Multi-Gummies. See gummies in a whole new light.
One of the Foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Welcome back to AMHQ Weekend. We know what today is, May 31st, right? It is just on the cusp of hurricane season. That starts tomorrow, June 1st. We had an early start this year with Ana, that tropical storm that just, decided to get a fresh early start on the 2015 season. But this year we have a new tool. It started flying back in 2014, but this year it's going to bring a whole new element to the world of forecasting with hurricanes. Take a look at the drone. Hurricanes. Meet Coyote, the newest weapon in NOAA's arsenal. What is Coyote?
Coyote is a unmanned aircraft. It is like a drone, and it's designed for flying in hurricanes and taking measurements in hurricanes.
Meteorologist Eric Uhlhorn is an expert in the ocean's role in hurricanes.
The main goal of the data that we collect is to obtain measurements of winds and moisture and temperature very close to the sea surface.
And that's the key. Coyote can go where no manned planes can, about 1,000 to 1,500 feet above the ocean. This 8-pound, 3-foot-long drone is dropped from NOAA's Hurricane Hunter plane. And once airborne, it literally spreads its wings, a full 5 feet across. It can then be operated remotely, taking measurements for about 90 minutes before its battery runs out and it falls into the ocean.
We had 2 successful missions last year in Hurricane Edouard, which is a storm not many people really, pay attention to. It was very far out in the ocean, but it turned out to be a very important storm for us to study.
This data was transmitted live to the plane and then to the National Hurricane Center and proved to be invaluable. Coyote could be the missing puzzle piece to solving intensity forecasting.
We've had a long period of trying to improve intensity prediction in hurricanes, but one of the reasons, I think, is that we haven't been able to get this crucial information. We believe that getting this information, a more accurate measure of what the moisture is in a storm, into the models should give us a much better intensity forecast. If we can improve the intensity forecast, we can save lives and save money.
Yeah, Chris, that's what is so amazing here. The HWRF model, one of our computer models, is actually going to take that data and use it this year. And it's this kind of mystery, like we were talking about there, at the surface of the hurricane and kind of getting that interaction there. So, Chris, it's going to be pretty cool to see that and how that all unfolds with this season. Maybe some better forecasting with intensity.
Yeah, exactly. Intensity, as we know, Kate, is certainly a tricky and a trouble spot for forecasting big tropical cyclones. We are looking at some big rain throughout parts of the Northeast. That rain sticking around also for several days in Scranton, Pennsylvania. And Scranton is one of the 50 quarterfinalists in the America's Best Communities contest. Joining us now is Amy Leister of the Scranton Group, which is an affiliate of the Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Amy. Thank you very much for joining us. And Amy, as a quarterfinalist, Scranton will receive $50,000 to come up with a revitalization plan. What are some of the ways Scranton hopes to boost its economic development?
Well, thank you for having me this morning, Chris. Welcome from Scranton, Pennsylvania. We have planned to bring our community partners together in workforce development, education, economic development, the private sector, and government to put together a community revitalization plan that's based on the Eds and Meds development within our downtown core. Scranton has a very strong higher education infrastructure as well as a growing industry sector in healthcare and technology. And we want to make sure that we have the available workforce skills and the available real estate available for those expanding companies and the skill sets and positions that they need to fill immediately.
Amy, we have about 40 seconds or so. What makes Scranton so great? And if you have one of the best, and if you end up with that $3 million to improve the quality of life for residents, how will that money be used?
The money would be used to improve revitalization of our downtown, entrepreneurial networks to bring commercial and residential development downtown, which will generally improve quality of life. And of course, job creation makes a better quality of life.
All right, Amy Leister, thank you very much for joining us. We certainly appreciate it. And best of luck to you and Scranton in this contest. And this contest is sponsored in part by the Weather Channel, Frontier Communications, Dish Network, and CoBank. Also here at the Weather Channel, keeping an eye on the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is tomorrow. But things already starting to heat up on the other side in the Pacific. Hurricane already in progress. Dr. Postel will be back to bring us up to date.
Deep in the dark, untouched recesses of your engine is power you never knew it could produce. And vapor can set it free. New Stable 360 Performance unleashes that exclusive vapor technology that rises above the fuel line to protect your engine where other additives can't, to help keep your engine running cleaner, leaner, smoother, and stronger than ever. The next level of performance is in the vapor. Stable 360 Performance.
I've seen hurricanes, floods, I've seen tornadoes. We give out Duracell batteries after the worst happens. And when the power's out for days, we stay with them. You might say they lost everything, but that's not what I see. I see a different kind of power. I saw it in Ruth, Adam, Tom. It's the power they have inside of them. The power to move forward.
At Duracell, we believe that's the power that never, ever goes out.
Constant Contact makes it easier than ever to connect with customers using all the best email marketing tools, like online promotions and email newsletters, so you can help your small business do more business. Try email marketing free at ConstantContact.com.
Monday morning, will rain-soaked and flooded Texas and Oklahoma finally get a break from the rain? And hurricane season begins starting at 5 Eastern on Wake Up with Al and 7 on AMH.
Xfinity sales professionals are always on the go, meeting new people every day. They're helping families get the latest Xfinity products and services. And they're making customers happy. Jumpstart your career with the best sales training in the industry. Great benefits like discounts on your own Xfinity services and the potential for high earnings. Have what it takes? Apply today and see what doors open for you.
For soft, beautiful feet, I have a professional secret. Amopay and its premium foot care line. The new Amopay Pedi Perfect Foot File gives you soft, beautiful feet effortlessly. Its Microlumina rotating head buffs away hard skin, even on those hard-to-reach spots. It's amazing. You can see it and feel it. My new must-have for soft, beautiful feet. Amopay Pedi Perfect. Soft, beautiful feet effortlessly. Amopay. Love every step.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, cloudy intervals, low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine, high 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is AMHQ Weekend Time now for the Tropical Update. That's right, the Tropical Update. Tomorrow, the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Dr. Greg Postel is here, keeping an eye on all of the activity in the world, including the East Pacific.
Yeah, we got a hurricane going on right now in the East Pacific. Things have started there. A couple of weeks ago, we start to see a lot more thunderstorm activity. And lo and behold, Hurricane Andres right now in progress, a Category 2, 105 miles per hour estimate on the wind speed. We don't have aircraft flying in there, so it's just a guess based on satellite of how strong it is. But Chris, guess what? It's going that way, and I think it's going to weaken pretty quickly. It's going to be moving over cooler water and drier air, so this is curtains for Andres.
And a storm for the fish.
A storm for the fish, yes. I think it's going to basically end up being a low-level cloud swirl in just a matter of a couple of days out here in the Pacific. But we just got to keep in mind that it's starting to get a little bit more active in the East Pacific, and it may start getting a little bit more active in the Atlantic.
As May ends today and June begins tomorrow, the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season, looking now at where some storms in the past have formed in the month of June.
Yeah, it's happened before. Here, each one of these dots represents a location on the map where we've seen tropical development in the month of June in the historical record. So you can see it's happened in the Gulf of Mexico. The southwestern Atlantic have been hotspots across this location and here. So it only makes sense, Chris, tomorrow being the 1st of June, do you think we'll have anything in the month of June in those areas? Maybe, maybe not, but I'll tell you what, the models are showing some interesting features. They're throwing a couple of curveballs at us as we head toward the end of this coming week, Friday. What they're doing is showing a pretty moist air mass with quite a bit of thunderstorm activity near the Florida coast and near the Bahamas. A concentrated area of storminess right there.
And what do you think is going to happen with this?
Right. The question is, can these things, these areas of thunderstorms develop into anything? They can, but this one will have a hard time because in part there's a pretty significant dip in the jet stream with high altitude winds that are blowing pretty fast over that area of rich moisture and thunderstorm activity. So I think development is unlikely, but it's not impossible. And we should keep an eye on this part of the Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico because it can happen. And the models are showing us this as we head toward Thursday and Friday in terms of low pressure. They're showing a broad trough right in here. And what I mean by that is these lines are isobars, lines of equal pressure, and they're kind of showing an axis of low pressure right about there with some unsettled weather. The good news here is that we're not seeing these closed circles of lines, meaning a strong low pressure system. Instead, it's kind of this diffuse area of, I would say, unsettled weather.
All right, but we will stay tuned.
But keep an eye on it.
Right.
It is June.
All right, Dr. Postel, thank you very much. And we do know that the worst of the heavy rain is over for now for parts of Texas and the southern plains. But now the big cleanup underway.
Before Chris Hadfield, before Sally Ride, we turned ordinary people into heroes. Shake hands with a hero at Astronaut Encounter, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
One of the foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
This new Temperflex feels like a dream boat to sleep on.
Well, it's got this spring and bounce of a traditional mattress, but then it also adjusts to my body.
This new bed, it just wraps you up and cuddles you, but you can still move around.
And now that I have a Temperflex, I can finally get a good night's sleep.
Change your sleep. Change your life. Change to Tempur-Pedic. To sleep happy guaranteed and 0% APR financing, visit Mattress Firm, America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Mario had a job to do, but his tool selection wouldn't do. Luckily, the nearby AutoZone and a Freeloaner torque wrench did the trick. And left Mario feeling 10 feet tall.
It's called The Zone, and we'll help get you there.
To get one free and $500 toward activities, shopping, and dining. That's Virgin Islands nice.
So nice, This is good, Mom.
Good? It's delicious. And this new kibble blend is so healthy.
Thank you.
No, Nancy. Thank you. Kibbles and bits, because every bit matters.
Before Chris Hadfield, before Sally Ride, we turned ordinary people into heroes. Shake hands with a hero at Astronaut Encounter, one of thousands of exciting things to explore at Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Orlando. Always exploring.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is a large and dangerous tornado.
That's why we get real local the moment you need it.
We are live in Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Florida.
Real accurate.
This is round one of the severe storms that are coming through.
From real experts on the ground.
That is a gust front for you right there.
Where you get your weather matters.
This is basically what makes the Weather Channel
Keep the Weather Channel on.
Here at the Weather Channel. The Weather Channel is out in full force today.
Only the Weather Channel.
This is AMHQ Weekend. It's a twist on camping. Sam Champion and storm tracker Jim Cantore, they're going to go into the woods this week. But before they go, they're learning some key survival tips.
I'm here with Weather Channel survival expert Creek Stewart to talk about something that's real important. A lot of people, when they go camping, Creek, they don't realize how much water they take in, fresh water. And you can't just go drink it out of the river.
That's right, man. You know, water is a critical survival priority for sure, you know, and you got to be really careful what water you drink.
But it's so heavy, you don't carry it in with you usually.
That's right. You know, in the first episode of Fat Guys in the Woods, we actually funneled water using our shelter canopy, and it saved us in the desert. And
wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And I thought I would show you today a really quick tip on how someone could do that in an average survival scenario.
I see you there with an umbrella, which is something I don't normally bring camping, but this would be good in this case.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, a lot of people think of umbrellas as something to shed rainwater. But in this case, we're actually going to use it to collect it. It's all about surface area. We're going to open this up. We're going to put it right on top of a bucket, and we're going to poke holes in the bottom of it. Believe it or not, an average umbrella this size can collect up to 3 gallons of rainwater per 1 inch of rain. And that is 100% drinkable. You can literally drink it
right out of the
bucket. And that's how simple it is.
The only thing we need really is Mother Nature to cooperate.
That's right. And with the weather we've had lately, I think we're good.
Almost on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Thanks, Creek. Great tip.
All right, great, guys. So basically, it's Fit Guys in the Woods. Sam and Jim in the Woods with Creek Stewart. That starts Friday at 7 o'clock in the morning. Eastern time, of course. And stormy days ahead for parts of the southeast. Coming up, we're going to take a look at which areas, once again, will potentially be dealing with scenes like this. But right now, not seeing that in Dallas. We're seeing a much more of a pleasant scene. How about this? Finally, starting to really dry out here in Dallas. Nice sunrise for you this morning.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings, it's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
Who needs a witness when you set the world in motion? The Ram ProMaster van. And introducing the all-new Ram ProMaster City. Purpose-built to help you run the town. Ram.
It's your thing! No matter how you want to lose weight, you can do it fast with delicious, nutritious Slim Fast. Shake it off, blend it off, drink it off. Just take it off and keep it off. However you want to lose the weight, rich, protein-packed Slim Fast controls your hunger up to 4 hours. Clinically proven to work and work fast.
It's your thing!
See results in just 1 week. Losing weight has never been easier. With Slim Fast, it's your thing.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sunshine and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, cloudy intervals. Low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, intervals of clouds and sunshine. High 87. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Things finally
be drying out in Texas, but it is going to take a long time for these floodwaters to recede. I'm bringing you the very latest forecast from Grapevine, Texas.
And the storms are heading east. The severe weather threat today will stretch from New York to Virginia. Large hail, damaging winds are both likely, and I'll break down who needs to be on the lookout.
And cooler air gripping the plains and the Midwest, putting more than 2 million under a frost advisory this morning. We'll tell you and show you just how low those temperatures are going to go. Weekend, it's Sunday, May 31st. I'm Chris Warren in for Reynolds Wolf. Kate Parker is live in Grapevine, Texas for us this morning. And Dr. Greg Postel has you covered when it comes to severe weather and the tropics. There's stuff to talk about in the tropics. But let's start right now with Kate in her hometown, Grapevine, Texas. Kate.
Yeah, you know, Chris, I was looking around the Metroplex yesterday, and yesterday morning we were on the Trinity River in Dallas, and the only place there was flash flooding in the Metroplex yesterday was really here in Grapevine, and it's easy to see why flash flooding would be so easy here. We're here at Oak Grove Park. This is an area complex that, yes, this is created as a kind of a floodplain here with a bunch of soccer fields out here on the lake. But the lake should be located way back where that tree line is. So I'm going to tell you some more about that in a second. First, I want to bring you the very latest of what's happened with these storms across Texas. 31 are reported dead. That's right, 31 from the storms Texas and Oklahoma there in that total. We have 7 that are still missing. Those are in Hays and Blanco counties. Horrific flooding went through Wimberley. And we also have a FEMA disaster center that has been opened in Oklahoma City. So that's good news there that we have that is preparing for kind of the recovery efforts there. And then a stretch of Loop 12 still closed until TBD, to be determined. It closed on Friday. This is in Dallas that we're talking about, Loop 12 and I-30 there. This behind me, like I was saying, just one of the examples of long-term flooding. We saw the flash flooding. It's devastating. This has a very long-term economic impact because these parks can't be open. I should not be standing in Lake Grapevine. But on top of that, we've got all kinds of stuff in here, all kinds of junk, and it's tearing up everything that's beneath this, and it could take months. We are hearing months for the water to recede. So this actually happens to be the story today. The soccer fields over here in the distance that I used to very poorly play soccer on happened to be the story in North Texas. And I got to tell you what, Chris, it's pretty surreal to think that, you know, I was 6 years old playing on the soccer fields. Fast forward a few decades, and here I am on the Weather Channel with you, Bud, reporting on them being underwater.
All right, Kate, yeah, a bit of a homecoming, but unfortunately under the flooding circumstances.
Yeah, unfortunately so. Good news for them is that it's going to dry out over the next few days, and unfortunately the wet weather is going to move east, so somebody's going to get what they got. Not as much, but rainier times are coming to the southeast and northeast as well, with the possibility of some severe weather today from New Jersey, Pennsylvania on southwestward through parts of the Appalachians of western North Carolina, including those big cities and every lovely small town in between. Right now, we don't have any severe thunderstorm warnings or flash flood warnings in place. We have some showers across the Ohio Valley, bringing some needed rain across the region. But we'll be watching this area because I have a feeling that in that zone later on today, we'll see some severe thunderstorms pop up. One of the reasons why is because we have a stationary boundary there that will help focus some severe thunderstorms there along those boundaries. But also on the warm side of that boundary, south of it, we've got high moisture content in the atmosphere flowing northward into that frontal zone, and that will help sort of promote thunderstorm development here. We've got all kinds of juice flowing out of the Atlantic, out of the Gulf of Mexico, allowing a very humid atmosphere to develop right in that zone. That will add fuel for the thunderstorms to develop that will develop later in association with this upper level disturbance moving through. Complicated graphic here, but what I'm showing you is the counterclockwise swirl in the radar reflectivities. You see that? That is in part associated with this upper level circulation that I sort of shaded in yellow and green. So that upper level low right here is going that way and will help lift the atmosphere along that frontal zone. And with that unstable air mass in place, that lifting will be associated with the production of some severe thunderstorms. By 5 o'clock tonight, we'll see storms in western Pennsylvania, down through parts of West Virginia, Pittsburgh, Charleston at risk for some severe weather. But also here in New York City, 7, 8 o'clock, right along the Jersey Turnpike down through Philly, central Pennsylvania, even down getting into D.C. later on this evening and up to parts of southern New England as well. Watch out for some big storms. The primary hazard would be hail and high winds. You can't rule out the possibility of a tornado, but still, rain would probably be, in some cases, beneficial because it has been pretty dry in the last couple months here in the Northeast. Chris, back to you.
How dry, you might ask?
You tell me.
This dry,
Yes.
Dr. Postel. This is what we're looking at. Albany, Hartford, Providence, and Scranton, some of the cities in the Northeast running on deficits. Talking rainfall deficits. This is how much rain you would typically see year to date, so up to this point in 2015 and on average. And then really, what's most important is you see the minus. All right, so that's your deficit. In some cases, 6.5 inches of rain behind where you should be. And with that, because of that, in part, we're dealing with a drought. Moderate drought, abnormally dry to moderate. And there are a few other categories. You have severe, extreme, and exceptional. So on the lower end in the drought monitor, but still in drought in some spots. You're going to be in the rain, which again will help the drought. Maybe not great plans for your weekend today. And then for tomorrow, still at include Washington, D.C. Also includes Philadelphia. Tuesday, still some green on the map for the Northeast. That means chance for some rain as we look from Maine all the way down into parts of West Virginia. And again, here it is. Here's that drought right in here. So we're showing you where it has been so dry lately. Hard to believe after the winter you had in Boston. But yeah, moderate drought here. And then we're going to show you again how much rain expected. So this will help put a dent in that drought that you're dealing with here, that moderate drought, because right in here, that 3 to 5 inches of rain that is expected to come kind of, in fits here and there throughout parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, a big part of Massachusetts and Connecticut, and more spotty into parts of eastern PA and parts of New York as well. So rain on the way, and the Southeast also will be dealing with some rain eventually. That's how you're going to finish off your weekend. Yesterday, not too bad for some spots, but scenes like this, you can expect that if you're planning to hit the road and be outside today. Be ready for some storms. Also, why it's important to have flood insurance. And you look at some of the pictures and you can see that it is important, even if you're not in a high-risk area. We're going to talk about that. And you know that it is amazing out there. You can hear it. Some hail coming down at times, ping-pong size hail in parts of New Mexico. And we want you to share pictures and videos with us so we can share them with you.
When you do business everywhere, the challenges of keeping everyone working together can quickly become the only thing you think about. That's where AT&T can help, with the tools and the network you need to make working as one easier than ever, virtually anywhere, leaving you free to focus on what matters most.
1 can of Bush's beans. Home style sounds good, but country style not without its charms. Brown sugar hickory? Who says no to hickory? New sweet heat? Sure. There are no rules here.
Bush's Beans. What's your favorite flavor? Here's to all the reasons you suit up every day. Here's to being a dad. Happy Father's Day from Men's Warehouse.
Only Nexium 24-Hour gives you Nexium level protection for frequent heartburn, all day and all night. Try Nexium 24-Hour, the #1 prescribed acid-blocking brand, and get all day, all night protection. Nexium level protection.
Let's do this. Let's move outdoors for the next few months. Let's build a kitchen under the clouds. A dining room with no walls, no ceiling. Let's put it all together. Then, let's get together. A lot. Let's do this. Home Defense ready to use or 10 pounds Bug Be Gone granules, just $6.88. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
and it just hit us,
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds, low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Glad you're with us right here on AMHQ. The whole team.
Right, either go all in or just tap out.
Here we go. I told you, we're going to bust out of this drought.
As we say, keep watching with us this morning because we're all watching history happen together.
Right now on AMHQ Weekend, this is a look at the French Quarter. And as we look at the streets here, you see a couple people either up earlier or straggling around from last night. It's hard to tell here in this part of New Orleans. A lot of good times, and they can happen 24/7. We are expecting to see some thunderstorms return once again, and that is the story. We're seeing some storms right now in Louisiana, but we're also at times seeing some nice pictures, a nice sunrise. So we're going to see the storms through midweek, but at times, I mean, it's not all day long. At times, you'll see scenes like this in Abita Springs. A nice look here in Louisiana. David Mora, thank you very much for sharing this on Twitter, and we would love to share more of your pictures, kind of keeping things on the bright side, getting you going in kind of a cool, nice, fun way this Sunday morning, the last day of May before June arrives, and the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season tomorrow. Here's a look at some of those storms. Here's Abita Springs, where we just saw that nice sunrise, and you also saw there was a few clouds in there. Some of those clouds showing up on the infrared satellite here, but then we also look at the color on the map that's moving. That's the rain. That's the radar detecting some raindrops in the atmosphere. And when you see the orange, the dark orange, and the yellow, that's heavier rain, oftentimes associated with thunderstorms, and that is the case right here as these storms now are moving across the Mississippi River into Mississippi. Some lightning associated with that early on. As the day goes on, better chance for some storms throughout parts of the Carolinas, generally the western part of the Carolinas and the Appalachians, and throughout the southeast. The reason for that, you have some moisture coming in as we look at the water vapor, moisture in the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. Also the low levels seeing some increased moisture, but it's all of this moisture with the daytime heating. We're going to see some of these storms really start to fire up throughout the day. So again, look at where you are, where you're going to be, or what you're interested in. Look for the yellow and the orange specks in here. A little bit difficult to see, but they're in here, here, and here. And you're going to see throughout the afternoon those increasing, the yellow and the orange, which means that's the heaviest showers and likely to have some thunderstorms. And you really see it start to blossom late in the day around dinner time or so. So from lunch through dinner and after dark, Kate, we know there'll be a chance for storms in the southeast. But as we go back in Grapevine, Texas, it looks finally, Kate, like some sunshine finally shining on Texas, but still floodwaters feet deep.
It is amazing to see the sun here, Chris. I can't even tell you what. Look behind me, though. Look at these beautiful cranes on this lakefront property. We're here at Lake Grapevine. Look at them. Gorgeous, right? Lakefront property, though, that's a soccer field. And it's not just one soccer field. Come with me. I want to show you this. See, back over here, we've got this outhouse that is a bathroom. That's a lightning detection network that's now down because it's completely submerged up to the roof, and it's just numerous soccer fields. You can see the lights that go all the way back, all the way to the water line and where it should be. This water's come up 11 feet in the last week and a half. So this is the long-term story. You know, we talk, and you might hear the plane over me. This is because we're just, if you gets you some perspective on where we are, right outside DFW Airport. Trinity River is high. It crested on Friday. That's where we were yesterday morning. We're telling you this story today because this is the long-term impacts of all this water. It had to go somewhere. It's gone in the rivers. Those are flowing downstream, but this water can't go anywhere. This is the final destination. So we'll tell you in just a little bit, you know, about when we think this water may finally reside. Back to you guys.
All right, Kate, thank you very much. And part of all of the recovery comes insurance and insurance claims and coverage. A lot of questions people likely have, and just a few inches of water we know can cause a lot of damage to your home and your property. Lynn McChristian with the Insurance Information Institute joins us now on the phone to talk about some of the insurance implications of the Texas floods. And first off, Lynn, when you saw all of the damage Saw the scope of this. What was your first reaction?
Well, the first reaction was I was thankful that many of those people had flood insurance. They lived in a high-risk zone. They knew the risk, and they got the coverage they needed to, to protect their finances. So there was relief on their part that they were properly protected.
Now, we'll talk a little bit about flood insurance because it is a little complicated, isn't it? It's not included in all forms of insurance, is it?
Well, it's not included in the standard homeowners policy, and it hasn't been since 1968. So, it's nothing new. It's just that when there's not a frequent flood reminder, the people who have options to let that coverage drop, they do so. And then something like this happens, and they realize that it's very important for everyone to consider flood insurance.
So what about if you're not in a high-risk area? Is that what you mean by everybody should get flood insurance?
Yes. Well, here's this is a really important statistic to me anyway, is that 20% of flood claims are paid to people who live in low to moderate risk zones. That's a pretty high percentage. So those are claims that are paid out. If it rains where you live, there's the risk of flooding.
All right. That's some interesting advice. Lynn McChristian, we really appreciate you taking the time to speak with us from the Insurance Information Institute. Thank you very much. And we do know that tomorrow does mark the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Coming up, the seasonal outlook and the hot spots to watch out for development in the tropics this time of year. Dr. Postel will join us.
One of the foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here, they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Pedi.
So if you were me, what would you do next?
Start another business, build another website.
Hey, Heidi Highs, Heidi Lows. Heidi Weissen.
So 2014.
That's it.
With Wix, it's easy to create your own stunning website.
Heidi Whitey's.
You did this all by yourself?
Wanna try them on?
Go to Wix and create your site today.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I am one of the ones who discovered Always Discreet underwear for sensitive bladders.
It makes me feel secure, confident, and I feel protected.
I mean, I feel comfortable to move in them. They move with me.
I love Always Discreet underwear because of the fit. The fabric is very soft. I can wear whatever I want to wear.
Always Discreet's made me a very happy woman.
Join over 500,000 women who've discovered Always Discreet underwear. For more stories and your free sample, go to alwaysdiscreet.com so bladder leaks can feel like no big deal.
Get ready for the passion, the pageantry, the drama. The NCAA Golf Championships. Men's Individual Championship tomorrow with Team Championship Tuesday and Wednesday, only on Golf Channel.
It is a weak man who urges compromise.
The Cadillac 2015 SRX. Current GM lessees can lease it from around $339 per month. Visit AutoNation Cadillac and Ed Morse Cadillac Delray.
Omega-3s are essential for our heart health. We find omega-3s in fish and nuts, but even with a healthy diet, many people don't get enough. That's why omega-3 supplements can help support your heart health.
MegaRed is an omega-3 supplement recognized by the Hope Heart Institute. Research shows omega-3s may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. MegaRed Omega-3 Krill Oil is easily absorbed by the body, and it's just one small pill. Support your heart health with MegaRed.
The Weather Channel's most watched original program,
And it just hit us.
is back.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds, low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Nice cool morning, nice fresh morning, lower humidity, all of that happening on what shouldn't be lakefront property, but is here in Grapevine, Texas. I'll touch more on that in just a little bit. But temperature-wise, we've got a really big improvement. Moisture-wise, in the atmosphere, we've got a really big improvement across Texas. Take a look at what we're going to finally see as we dry out in the next several days across Texas. Take a look at these temperatures. If we could pull those up, I'll show you what we're talking about there. That we do see that 79 degrees today. Hey, how about that? Actually a little chilly, way below average. Tomorrow a little bit warmer, and the next day a little warmer as that sunshine kicks in. But will we reach 90 degrees this week? That is the big question, because on average we get it on April 19th. Not going to happen this year, obviously. We're a month and a half late on that, so we'll see if we hit that 90-degree day before June 12th, the record latest. Chris?
Yes, we are waiting to see that, and certainly use at least a little bit more heat to hopefully dry things out. We also know that today is the last day of May, which means tomorrow's the first day of June and the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. And we want to talk a little bit about that. And joining us now is Chris Vaccaro from the Public Affairs portion of the National Weather Service, the Director of Public Affairs. And Chris, thank you very much for joining us from Washington, D.C. And what do you want people to know about the beginning of hurricane season? We've already had a tropical storm.
Exactly. Well, Chris, the hurricane season officially starts at the stroke of midnight tonight and lasts through November 30th. So we have 6 months of the hurricane season ahead of us, including the peak months of August, September, and October. So the bottom line is be prepared and get prepared. Check out ready.gov and some other websites off of the hurricanes, including hurricanes.gov, to get your storm preparedness kit ready for the season ahead.
And of course, we know there are some specific spots where it is important to get ready, and some specific parts of hurricane season where you tend to see more development than others. We talk a little bit about the variability and when we see things develop throughout the course of the season.
Exactly. Well, if you're along the Gulf Coast or East Coast from Brownsville, Texas, all the way through northern Maine, you're prone to the hurricane season. So although hurricanes typically strike the upper Gulf Coast or Florida or the Carolinas because those areas tend to stick out more, the entire coastline is prone to hurricanes. But as we saw with Ana, this early season development can occur in the Gulf of Mexico, Caribbean Sea, or near the southeast United States. And then as the season progresses in time, then the larger portions of the Atlantic, the tropical development area across the entire swath of the Atlantic, can develop tropical storms and hurricanes.
Hey, Chris, let's talk about the hurricane forecast. A few entities do have forecasts for potential of hurricanes, named storms, etc. And the National Weather Service, one of them. What do you make of the numbers? Or when you have people look at the numbers, what do you want people to know?
Well, the science is there to be able to determine what the overall season will be like. These numbers are general guidelines and general ranges that we expect for the entire 6-month season ahead across the entire Atlantic basin. So this is a lot of territory over a long period of time. And though once an individual storm forms, then we have the experts at the National Hurricane Center in Miami that track each of those storms and develops track and intensity forecasts out to 5 to even 7 days in advance. So, once again, the seasonal outlook is just a general reminder that also the hurricane season is upon us and to be prepared and what the overall season will produce. But then fundamentally, once a storm does develop, it's watching that track and intensity forecast very carefully.
Chris Vaccaro, spokesperson for the National Weather Service, thank you very much for joining us on this Sunday morning. And now let's go to Dr. Greg Postel to talk about a much-needed pattern change that's on the way. Dr. Postel.
Yeah, much drier weather is coming into the southern plains, Chris. That's going to include places like Oklahoma City, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, even St. Louis and Kansas City. So this is our forecast through Friday. 0 precipitation in those areas that are not shaded in green. Of course, out over here in Jackson, Mississippi, for example, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Nashville, Tennessee, that's where the rain is coming to over the next couple of days. So it's shifting from the central to the east. That's the pattern shift across the lower 48 that we've been sort of advertising now for a little while. Let's talk about how that's happening and why it's drying out. And the ridge at upper levels is the primary culprit, right? We have a dip in the jet stream out here, and then it's kind of flaring up like that. So these upper level ridges in the jet stream and the flow about 30,000 feet are associated with essentially warm and stable and dry bubbles of air aloft. And that one is moving this way over the next couple of days. And it's going to be with us for a few days even after that. So let's look at the relative humidities and those upper level winds over the next few days through Friday, showing you that noticeably dry air will be over the southern plains. They need it. It's going to dry out. But also, this is important too, noticeably moist air is going to be in place with the enhanced shower and thunderstorm activity over the northeast because they need it as well. They've been in a drought. The highs over the southern plains over the next couple of days will be held in check, in part because the ground is wet and it's hard to heat up a wet ground. Good news for them too as well. We'll be right back with all the latest information. Stay tuned on AMHQ Weekend.
During Mahindra Dealer Days, there are two kinds of people. Those who get Mahindra Max or E-Max for 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments till September, and those who don't. Folks who get savings on power package bundles, and the other guys. Oh, and don't forget our 5-year warranty. Hurry in for Dealer Day savings.
The world's #1 selling tractor. Visit MahindraUSA.com.
He says she's an undisciplined overwaterer. She claims he's a cruel underwaterer. With Miracle-Gro Moisture Control Potting Mix, plants only get water when they need it. Fight ended or shifted. Miracle-Gro. Life starts here.
Shopping for the family used to cause a lot of stress between me and my budget. But thanks to Fingerhut, we have found our happy place.
Life is definitely sweeter.
At Fingerhut.com, we got approved to shop with low monthly payments, over 200,000 items with brand names like Samsung, Dyson, DeWalt, and with great family stuff like this Samsung TV.
And even our yoga mats.
All you got to do is click on over to Fingerhut.com and get the credit you deserve to get all kinds of great stuff for the family.
One of the foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Pedi.
Nice job, guys. And don't worry, this beauty will last and last because I'm the only paint primer in one with Easy Wash formula, which you may find pretty handy someday.
Olympic One paint with exclusive Easy Wash formula stands up to 1,500 scrubs. Olympic, simply done. Exclusively at Lowe's. Stop by Lowe's and save $5 per gallon on Olympic's best paints and stains. Just another way Olympic makes it easy every step of the way.
Need new tires? Right now at Pep Boys, when you get 3 Falcon, Cooper, or Hankook tires, you get the 4th tire free instantly. Plus, get no interest and paid in full within 12 months on your Pep Boys credit card. Trust the boys to get you there.
Time to sweat, boys. Big time.
Let's get this thing right.
Fat Guys in the Woods. New season starts in 1 week, only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Monday morning, will rain-soaked and flooded Texas and Oklahoma finally get a break from the rain? And hurricane season begins starting at 5 Eastern on Wake Up with Al and 7 on AMHQ.
All right, take a look at what flash flooding looks like here. Water going under the road, over the road, and then swamping the road right here, completely overtaking the road. This in the Austin, Texas area, and you can see what it looks like, just absolutely overtaking, and that's going to wash a car away if there happened to have been a car there at the time. And people, it looks like they were stopping and kind of, when the water kind of started getting over, kind of checking it out. The water's running a little high, and then all of a sudden just completely swamped. We want to welcome you back here to AMHQ Weekend. It is Sunday, May 31st. I'm Chris Warren, and for Reynolds Wolf, Dr. Greg Postel is here. We also have Kate Parker we're going to go to in just a minute in Grapevine, Texas. But first, we want to get a look at the snapshot for today.
Sunday snapshot. Let's have a look at the weather across the country. In case perhaps you've been wondering, we have drying conditions across the Southern Plains. Good news, we've been talking about that, but also pretty chilly times there in the Northern Plains, Chris. I mean, look at that in the Great Lakes. Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Madison, Des Moines, Kansas City, everywhere in between. It is below average temperature-wise for this time of year. Yesterday, it was in the 40s in the afternoon in southern Wisconsin. How about that?
That's cold.
Yeah,
this time of year.
With cloudy and drizzly conditions to boot.
Oh,
I know, but it won't last too long. Hang on, because you know summer can get real hot. Here are the high temperatures today. East is pretty nice. Raleigh 90, but look, mid-60s.
Where's it going to be 90?
Raleigh. That'd be North Carolina, yeah. And then west looks good, of course.
Let's go now to Kate Parker, who made it to her hometown of Grapevine, Texas. Still seeing plenty of flooding. It looks like the water's moving a little on the swift side behind you. Or is that the wind, Kate?
Yeah, that's the wind actually giving us a little bit of a little splash here, a nice little wave out on the water. This is, now lakefront property. It shouldn't be, though, of course. Those are soccer fields back here. So I've got my bud, Kevin Mitchell. He's the director of Grapevine Parks and Recreation. Now, you may hear a plane going overhead just to give you an idea of where exactly Grapevine is, because you're not from here like I am or like Kevin is. It's just north of the airport that we're at right now. So literally, if you've been to DFW Airport, you've been in Grapevine, if anybody's ever flown through there. So,
correct.
Grapevine Lake, though, it shouldn't be this high.
It's grown.
Yeah, it's a little bigger. I see parking spaces over here that are full, soccer fields behind us. What all have you seen?
All of our athletic fields, our soccer fields are flooded. This is a parking lot where we normally park a couple hundred cars. Back in the distance, you can barely see a little green roof. That's a restroom concession stand building that's underwater.
But that's also your lightning detection network, right?
It is. That's the mother area of our lightning detection system, which runs our all our athletic fields out here.
So if there are thunderstorms, you can't play because you can't detect the lightning.
Correct.
Okay, but you can't play right now because of the water. Okay, so down over here, if you look a little farther, that's the water line way out there, right?
Way out there, that last clump of trees.
So 561 is what, just over that is what you're crested at right now. How long is it going to take this much water just to go back to recede?
We think it's going to take, based on history, 60 to 90 days.
That's a really long
which
time.
means we have no athletic fields for the summer for the kids to play on.
Right. That's a big impact. But you guys have fireworks shows. You have all kinds of stuff. Are you going to be able to do any of that?
Correct. At this point, the fireworks shows have been suspended just simply because we have nowhere for the people to watch the show. And then, we can't launch boats safely, so all the boaters...
Right, because that's a dock way out there.
Correct.
And that would typically be where the line is of the water. And so all the boat ramps are closed in the area. Are you thinking 3 months on this?
We're thinking close to that based on history, yes.
And that's without any more rain?
That's without any more rain.
Without any more rain. That's tremendous. So obviously we're going to be watching this, but this is a huge local impact. But it's not just Grapevine. There are a lot of cities that surround the lake.
Correct. South Lake, Flower Mound, Coppell, and our soccer association is a joint with South Lake, so they can't play, we can't play, so it does impact more than just Grapevine.
So a lot of months to come on this cleanup, you guys. It's not just the flash flooding that we're talking about here. Back to you.
Kate, thank you very much. Yeah, so long for the floodwaters to eventually disappear. Could be months in some cases. Also rivers. The thing is, downstream is when you can see flooding days after the rain. Upstream ends. Let's go now to Brandy Hughes, a meteorologist at the National Weather Service in Shreveport, Louisiana. Brandy, thank you very much for joining us. And we're going to show our viewers some of the gauges and the forecast for the floodwaters in Texas and then also in Shreveport along the Red River. Can you give us an idea of kind of what people can expect or what they should know about flooding along the Red River?
Well, we've had quite a bit of ongoing flooding, especially above Shreveport, up on the Texas and Oklahoma border, but that will be making its way southward into the Shreveport area. Come the middle of this week, we should see the crest in Shreveport, especially on towards next weekend. We're expecting 34-foot crest here in Shreveport, so that can cause tremendous impacts to cattle and lake ranchers, and also to the city itself. We should see good rises here in Shreveport.
Okay, so Brandy, while we're talking to you, we're showing the river decreasing in Texas, but there it is in Shreveport, Louisiana, as you mentioned, more than 30-foot crest. So say I'm having a beer at the Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville there in Bossier City, looking back at Shreveport at sunset come Thursday. What would I expect the Red River to look like?
Well, it's going to be very large, and there are some areas of downtown Shreveport that are already being impacted by the floodwaters, and we're sitting just over flood stage at just over 30 feet this morning. So you're going to notice some differences there, especially along the banks and some of the parks that are downtown. The water will look very high on the Texas Street Bridge as well. So it's going to be definitely going to be a sight as that bump makes its way down the river.
Can you put this into perspective based on past events, or do you have any advice for people that are visiting Shreveport, Bossier City, or that live there?
Well, this is going to be very similar to the 1990 flood, and folks that have lived in this area long enough are going to remember that. We had quite a few impacts along the Red River, and this is a very similar event to that.
All right, Brandy Hughes, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us from the National Weather Service in Shreveport. And again, floodwaters, they do take a while in the rivers to go downstream. Again, flooding happening in a drainage basin, it all comes in, and it takes a while eventually for that to get all the way out to the Gulf in this case, and flooding is expected later on in Shreveport later on this week. Let's go ahead right now and take a live look at Portland, Maine, where you and parts of the Northeast will be dealing with showers and thunderstorms today. It's going to be wet on and off. In fact, you're going to see a pretty healthy dose of rain throughout the day in Portland, Maine. We're back with the forecast coming up.
One of the foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's DreamWalk Express Pedi.
When you're not confident your company's data is secure, the possibility of a breach can quickly become the only thing you think about. That's where AT&T can help. We monitor our network traffic worldwide, so we see things others can't, mitigating risks across your business, leaving you free to focus on what matters most.
Let's do this. Let's move outdoors for the next few months. Let's build a kitchen under the clouds. A dining room with no walls, no ceiling. Let's put it all together. Then, let's get together. A lot. Let's do this. Home Defense ready to use or 10 pounds Bug Be Gone granules, just $6.88. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
Find the perfect gift at the Men's Wearhouse Grad's Favorite Sale. Right now, get select suits for $199.99. 30% off all shoes. Plus, buy one, get one free on even more, including clearance. Only at Men's Wearhouse.
Get the complete balanced nutrition of Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals.
And now, with twice as much vitamin D, which up to 90% of people don't get enough of.
Oh, the sunshine vitamin.
Ensure. Take life in.
Are you still getting heartburn flare-ups? Time for a new routine. Try Nexium 24-Hour, the latest choice for frequent heartburn. Get complete protection. Nexium Level Protection.
Walmart's low prices every day, it's not just about having more savings, it's about having more fun. Great get-togethers start with low prices you can trust every day.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds. Low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies. High 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Another side of this massive flooding story across Oklahoma and Texas, and that's one of something you may not want to think about, something that slithers. Snakes, that's right, all this water forcing them out of their homes. And in fact, we were just talking to the director of Grapevine Parks and Recreation. I'm in Grapevine, Texas this morning, and he was saying the number of snakes going over the causeway has been massive, and it's resulting in a lot of stuff like this. Take a look.
Saw something green and I looked more closer and it was a snake. I tried moving the snake with the wood chip. So I'm not tossing back. And then it just bit me.
Skylar Brown's recess ruined, his hand swollen after a bite from a copperhead snake.
It started bleeding and I shaked my hand and it made it worse. So then I ran to my teacher and they made everyone get off the playground.
It happened at Timber Creek Elementary Thursday afternoon during recess. The Louisville ISD tells us it canceled all outdoor activities as a result, adding the campus and the district will continue to monitor the weather and will evaluate at that time if outdoor activities will continue during the remaining days of this school year.
Whenever the snake bit me, it felt like basically like a bee stinging.
The third grader is among the half-dozen snake bites seen at Children's Medical Center in Dallas in just the last 12 days. On average, Children's Health sees a dozen bites a summer.
I'm not too surprised by that just because of the increased rain and flooding that we're experiencing. The snakes are trying to seek safe, dry ground.
Skylar's hand is starting to get back to normal after the swelling.
It started from here, and then here, and in here.
The pain is going away too, but the 10-year-old certainly isn't afraid of snakes. Are you scared of them now?
No, not really.
Why not?
Because now I know what those look like, and I'm going to stay away from those.
Yeah, Chris, so a really important message for both kids and pets, and even you whenever you're going out for that jog. You may encounter a lot more wildlife right now thanks to all the high waters across Texas and Oklahoma.
All right, Kate, be on the snake lookout. We appreciate that. Meanwhile, it's a thrill ride heading to the big screen here. A new documentary is called Sunshine Superman, explores the origin of base jumping. And earlier this week, I spoke with a base jumper who talked about the documentary and also just what base jumping means, B-A-S-E.
Base jumping is the act of jumping off an object, such as a building or a tower or a cliff, and using a parachute to safely descend to the ground.
Okay, so it's base for building, you climb up an antenna, span, which is a bridge, right?
A bridge,
correct.
A bridge.
And then
E for earth.
Earth.
Stands for cliff.
Now, how does weather play a role into the dangers of the sport?
The wind affects what we're jumping off of. For example, building, the wind moves around the building. In a tower, the wind is moving through the object. Span, it's going under, and a cliff, it's going over. So all those play a role in how you have to conduct yourself and how you have to prepare.
Have you ever had a situation where you wake up in the morning with a jump planned and you have to cancel because of the weather, or have you ever stood up there and said no and backed off and not done the jump?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
You have to do that. You know, there's a part of preparation, which we use your forecast to identify what object we're going to, and then when you get there, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you guys aren't always right. So we get there and the wind is blowing a different direction and it's not suitable, so then we have to back off a jump.
I want to talk about this documentary a little bit here, Adam, in the sense that is there anything to gain from this, anything that you learned from this, or what stood out to you about this documentary?
Well, this documentary really portrays base jumpers in a positive light. We have this, we'll say, a stereotype of being, reckless and thrill-seeking, and we have no thought process beyond we just have to go have a good time. But that's not the case. There's a meticulous planning process, there's evaluations, and as you said, sometimes we have to back down from a jump.
All right, we want to thank again Adam Gardner, the base jumper there, talking to us about the film Sunshine Superman, which is in theaters right now. Also, the countdown is on to the start of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is tomorrow. Things already heating up, though, in the Pacific. Hurricane Andres weakening slightly as we see it spinning right here. Dr. Postel will have the forecast coming up here in just a little bit, where this is going and what we're watching in the Atlantic. And help bring sunnier weather to more than 10 million kids treated at Children's Miracle Network hospitals each year. Put your money where the miracles are. CMNHhospitals.org.
Devour food that's good for you, the same way you devour food that's not good for you.
Bridgestone is changing the game in tire performance.
So Will Arnett can get to the store when he's out of diapers.
Well, to be clear, they're not for me. They're for my son. So we should probably go.
We switched Will's tires to Bridgestone's revolutionary Drive Guard tires.
Oh, those look sharp.
It's okay. Our Drive Guard tires are engineered to take a puncture and drive up to 50 miles on a flat, so no side of the road.
Well, that's good, because the side of the road is dangerous, especially since we're going commando.
We're?
What commando mean?
One of the Foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
Subito.
The all-new Fiat 500X crossover. Bigger, more powerful, and ready for action.
Monday morning, will rain-soaked and flooded Texas and Oklahoma finally get a break from the rain? And hurricane season begins starting at 5 Eastern on Wake Up with Al and 7 on AMH.
Omega-3s are essential for our heart health. We find omega-3s in fish and nuts, but even with a healthy diet, many people don't get enough. That's why omega-3 supplements can help support your heart health.
MegaRed is an omega-3 supplement recognized by the Hope Heart Institute. Research shows omega-3s may reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. MegaRed Omega-3 Krill Oil is easily absorbed by the body, and it's just one small pill. Support your heart health with MegaRed.
Imagine waking up every morning to a beautiful, lush, perfectly manicured lawn. You don't have to imagine anymore. Located in Jupiter, Synthetic Turf International is the global leader in synthetic landscape solutions, putting greens, and functional activity services. And STI Jupiter was just chosen to provide and install the synthetic turf for the tailgate field next to this year's college football championship game in Dallas. So stop at the mowing. Let our trained staff show you how your lawn can start paying you. Call for a free quote. Synthetic Turf International.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds, low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now in the lab, Dr. Greg Postel. Hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin officially begins tomorrow. But in the Pacific, there is a hurricane Today.
Today, right. Hurricane Andres, right. 105-mile-per-hour hurricane moving away from land out into the open water. That is good news. Not going to impact anybody directly anyway. 105-mile-per-hour winds on estimation from the Hurricane Center. We have satellite basically measuring this thing. We don't have aircraft flying in there, so nobody knows how strong it is for sure. But it's around that, a Category 2 storm, fairly impressive, but soon to weaken as it moves over colder water and drier air. And this is what the official forecast is from the Hurricane Center.
Taking it away from land.
Go away, yes, and there's the Mexican coast right in here, and there's Southern California, if you can see that at the very top of your screen. Yes, it is going out into the open water. It's a fish storm, Chris. Let's turn our attention to the Atlantic because it's June tomorrow, the official start of the hurricane season in the Atlantic. These dots represent storm origins over the historical record during the month of June.
And it pretty much stands out. It's kind of glaring that there's a few clusters of where storms typically develop this time of year.
I would say you're exactly right with two clusters, one in the Gulf of Mexico, Western Caribbean, and the other in the Western Atlantic. So it's happened here before. Now we might start to turn our attention to these parts of the world because it's happened, and will it happen again? We have to look at the weather models to determine if that's the case. Going forward to Friday, so let's see, 4 or 5 days from now, there are some signs that it's going to get a little bit more unsettled in that part of the world, in the Caribbean, Bahamas. We're going to see a lot more thunderstorms moving around there, and maybe some broad area of low pressure trying to form. This is a sort of cluster of moisture that the models have been hinting at now for a while in association with a pretty significant dip in the jet stream. So at first glance, like, it's not tropical. There's a big dip in the jet stream. There's strong winds aloft. They're not going to get really organization of thunderstorms. Yeah, that's true, but, you know, just keep an eye on it because sometimes those winds can weaken and you can get development unexpectedly. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say anything a week out is not set in stone.
That's the other thing, too.
That's not set in stone.
Yeah, that's the other thing, too. This is 4 or 5 days out, and we're talking about tropical development, which is actually something very hard to predict even a day out. But here's what the models in general are showing. A broad area of low pressure, meaning we have pressure contours like that, isobars showing us a trough of low pressure likely over the Bahamas and some stormy times with rain and showers and thunderstorms, that being Thursday and this being Friday. So we'll just keep an eye on it. I would say development is unlikely, but not impossible. We've seen it before.
All right, Dr. Postel, thank you very much. And a heads up, if you live in the plains, probably happy the way things are finally starting to finish for us in the month of May after seeing so many scenes like this. We're going to recap what is now the wettest single month on record in parts of Texas and Oklahoma.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
You pay your auto insurance premium every month on the dot. You're like the poster child for paying on time. And then one day, you tap the bumper of a station wagon. No big deal until your insurance company jacks up your rates. You freak out. What good is having insurance if you get punished for using it? Hey, insurance companies, newsflash. Nobody's perfect.
For drivers with accident forgiveness, Liberty Mutual won't raise your rates due to your first accident. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Carpools, conferences, microwave dinners. They blur one into the next. We lose ourselves in the fog of everyday life and drift away from what matters. But like a beacon in the night, it finds us. The light of more than 100 lighthouses burning through that fog and beckoning us back to what's real and true. This light shines for us all. This light is Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I'm one.
I am one of the ones who discovered Always Discreet underwear for sensitive bladders.
It makes me feel secure, confident, and I feel protected.
I mean, I feel comfortable to move in them. They move with me.
I love Always Discreet underwear because of the fit. The fabric is very soft. I can wear whatever I want to wear.
Always Discreet's made me a very happy woman.
Join over 500,000 women who've discovered Always Discreet underwear. For more stories and your free sample, go to alwaysdiscreet.com so bladder leaks can feel like no big deal.
In a matter of seconds, your life can change.
We had kids still into school.
And it just hit us.
This was it. The Weather Channel's most watched original program is back.
Things are just going everywhere.
It was a nightmare.
And then it was silent.
This is just the beginning of what's to come.
All right, this AMHQ weekend, just a few hours, Weather Geeks previewing the upcoming hurricane season. And the question, El Nino, what's the deal with that? They're going to talk about that. Also, are we entering a hurricane drought? And exploring the science behind wild weather phenomena. Can tornado form indoors? And a mysterious South American lightning storm that can last for months. Join us for back-to-back episodes, Weather Geeks, today, noon, here at the Weather Channel. And Dr. Postel is joining us next. We want to talk about what has been a remarkable month now that today is the last day of May in Texas and Oklahoma. The pictures show us, and Kate is there so we can see live just what all of this rain has done. The wettest month on record for Texas and Oklahoma, Kate.
I know, just 2 weeks ago I was along the Trinity River. Yesterday I was along the Trinity River. You know, it's out of its banks. Now I'm at Lake Grapevine. It's obviously way above average. We're going to continue to tell you this story on Weekend Recharge. But you guys, I miss you there in studio. Gotta say, a Sunday's lonely out here on the lake without you.
But we know you'll make friends there, Kate, in your hometown.
We miss you too.
We do miss you.
Oh, thanks.
But you look at the water behind Kate, and we saw that the water up to the roof there in the park, one of the buildings in there, and the scope of this.
Remarkable. We had a very unusual weather pattern. Hopefully we won't see ever again. The good news is it's drying out, and these guys up next, Paul and Maria, will talk a lot about that. You guys are in good hands.
That's right. Weekend Recharge.
Coming right up.
So shiny. I know, Mommy, but it's time to let the new kitchen get some sleep.
If you want beautiful results, you know where to go. Angie's List. Now everyone can get highly rated service even without a membership. You can shop special offers or just tell us what you need, and we'll help you find a local company to take care of it. Angie's List is there for all your projects, big and small. Pretty.
Come see what the new Angie's List can do for you.
What do you think of when you think of the United States Postal Service? Exactly. That's what pushes us to deliver smarter.
Simpler.
Faster. Sleeker. Earlier.
Fresher.
Harder. Farther. Quicker. And yeah, even on Sundays. What's next? We'll show you.
One of the Foot's favorite rituals happens at the water's edge. Here they must look their best. Smooth, beautiful skin is an advantage. The others can only hide in shame. Introducing the new Dr. Scholl's Dreamwalk Express Pedi.
It's your thing! No matter how you want to lose weight, you can do it fast with delicious, nutritious Slim Fast. Shake it off, blend it off, drink it off. Just take it off and keep it off. However you want to lose the weight, rich, protein-packed Slim Fast controls your hunger up to 4 hours. Clinically proven to work and work fast. It's your thing! See results in just 1 week. Losing weight has never been easier. With Slim Fast, it's your thing.
Currently in our area, 78 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Today, sun and clouds mixed. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. High 85. Tonight, some clouds, low 74. Winds east-southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, partly cloudy skies, high 88. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We've been here for 42 years. We've seen the floodwater come to our edge of the house, but never in the house. So this is probably the worst flood I've seen.